I think there was a conspiracy,
right? Absolutely, Elizabeth. It was a conspiracy, and a lot of people were involved in this, and they know who they are, and they're very afraid of what I might say. I was in Michael's house outside of that doctor during that time. Now, that I do know, and I know who that person was that was in his house. Now, whether that person did that or not, that I don't know. Michael said, I don't want the doctor around me. This is what he was being said the last days, but no, you got to have this person with you. The coroner came and he said that whoever did this intentionally.
YouTube, welcome back, all my subscribers and my regulars, to another episode of T Wizzle Reactions. If you're new to the channel, welcome as well. And I hope by the end of the channel, you hit the like button and subscribe button and become part of the gang. Definitely appreciate everybody that's been tapping in. We just reached 100 subscribers, so y'all know that we doing the giveaway. Alright, details of the giveaway. You just gotta answer a simple question, but you gotta be subscribed. I gotta be fair. I cannot give this money to you if you're not subscribed. Simple question: what is my second most viewed video on my channel? And I'm gonna do 3 winners: first place, second place, and third place, so that way I can give a couple people chances to win. But first place prize is $100. Thank you to everybody that's been tapping into the website. I appreciate each and every one of y'all. And today we got a video that was thought to have been deleted from the internet. Okay, we got some of these labels doing chaos control, damage control, whatever you want to call it. But that's the reason why it was hard to get the video. So shout out to Nitrous Reacts for the clip. But in this video, LaToya Jackson, which is Michael Jackson's sister, is giving an almost super detailed about the conspiracy around the murder of her brother. Now, we all know publicly they said that it was due to, well, at first when I heard about it, they said it was just due to cardiac arrest, but now they added that it was due to cardiac arrest caused by acute propofol intoxication. And that's one of the things that his sister is going to touch on in this clip. She's going to describe the unimaginable amount of propofol that Michael had in his body before he untimely passed. She also stated that Michael knew something was up because he was beefing with Sony's head. He owned about 55% of the music industry because he owned 50% of Sony itself. They also going to tell you how he acquired so much wealth and so much of his exclusive catalog. Not his, but of other artists like the Beatles. And she also said that was one of the reasons why they wanted Michael unalive. But I wasn't there. Rest in peace, the King of Pop. But I'm going to let her tell it because she definitely know more and she can tell it better than I can. So let's get into the video.
So the thing about it is, after trying to look for the full episode, this is on a show called The View, all right, on ABC. I tried looking for the full episode so many times, and this is the only channel that actually has the full clip. Everything else is either a snippet or it doesn't come up when I search for it, which is very, very interesting.
When Michael first passed, right after that, the following morning, I was told, the coroner came and he said that whoever did this intentionally. Michael had enough propofol in him, he said, to kill an elephant. Wow. Now, mind you, propofol, it just leaves your body immediately. With Michael, it didn't because he had a kidney and liver problem. So that made it stay into his system.
But you don't think it was Dr. Murray who did it?
Well, I think there was a conspiracy,
right?
Absolutely, Elizabeth. It was a conspiracy, and a lot of people were involved in this, and they know who they are, and they're very afraid of what I might say, of what my brother has told me.
Was he used in your mind, Dr. Murray, I'm speaking of, as the sort of hitman in terms of this conspiracy?
I think, honestly, in my total belief is that Dr. Murray was just the fall guy simply because he knew what was going on. But I don't know to what extent.
Okay.
And I can't say. I wasn't there when my brother
But doesn't
was
it
murdered.
boil down to who actually administered the propofol?
Exactly.
Right.
Well, who actually injected it into him completely?
Which would be
I want y'all to pay attention to the white lady in the blue shirt, because in a moment, Latoya Luckett gonna reveal who she wanna have a sit down with, and if she revealed if she'd have said a name, basically, people probably could have even inferred that those people are the people that know who did what they did to Michael, or they are the people who have done it. But Whoopi Goldberg stops her, and you gotta pay attention how the white lady smiles at Whoopi, and then like her face just goes evil, like, you bitch, like, you just stopped it. Bro, they call agents of chaos. They are put in place like sleeper agents, but they are working for the enemy. And by the enemy, I mean evil, period. Because these labels is fueled by evil. They driven by money. They'll do anything to get more money. They put insurance out on artists without their consent, and then have something tragic happen to them and collect the insurance money. They got a bunch of different methods. Look up how Eazy-E caught HIV. If you do enough research, it should lead you to a video where Suge Knight is explaining that how nowadays they so sophisticated with unaliving you that they don't have to physically harm you, to where though people can say, all right, he had a motive, do an investigation, and conclude that you may have had something to do with the crime. But he said something specifically about giving people needles, and listen to what disease he said was in the needle. And if you know what disease that Eazy-E died from, you can make the connection. Allegedly, this is all for entertainment purposes and educational purposes only.
Would be the person who would be
Which
tried
was somebody was in Michael's house outside of that doctor during that time. Now that I do know, and I know who that person was that was in his house. Now whether that person did that or not, that I don't know.
But if you're saying that Dr. Murray is just the fall guy.
Even when Michael said, I don't want the doctor around me, this is what he was being said the last days. But no, you got to have this person with you.
Why do you think Michael was concerned about this? What were they after?
Well, first of all, he told me over and over and over. When he first told me, Latoya, they're going to kill me. I said, who, Michael? First, I thought you're Michael Jackson. Nobody in their right mind would ever think of doing anything like this to you. That's what you think. He says, no, but you don't understand. And then I saw how serious he was. He said, it's bigger than what you think. I said, well, Michael, what is it? He said, it's my publishing. They're after my publishing. They want to take it. As you guys know, my brother had one of the largest catalogs in the world, meaning music-wise.
The Beatles collection was one of them.
He owned the Beatles, yes.
Yeah.
There's an
Man,
elevator
owned the
music that
Beatles.
you hear, just everything. Basically, a piece of...
Now y'all know Sony is one of the second largest music companies in the world, if I'm not mistaken. And I know Columbia is the oldest in America, so Sony was behind them. Michael owned half because of his merger deal. He owned half of Sony, so essentially, just like Latoya said, he owned half of everything, and essentially a piece of every artist. Because there's a lot of smaller music companies that's branched off under Sony Records, and Sony is what you would call a parent company. But now watch as they presses her for this information. It's almost like they is dying for her to reveal these names. And you can hear them saying basically like, why don't you want to reveal it? And the other lady, the white lady in a burgundy dress, she like, is it safe? And Latoya is wording things specifically for a reason, because her safety might be in jeopardy. And this is the reason why Whoopi Goldberg stops her before she even reveals a name.
I'm really intrigued, because you say that there was somebody at this house and you know who it was. Can you say who it was?
No, I cannot say, because there were other
Why
people
can't
in the
you
house
say?
as well. Because I prefer not to at the moment, but I will say this. I would love to have a one-on-one with several people. One person I would love to have.
safe?
I would love to have a one-on-one with probably
I mean,
You say that because you think that you could instinctively get from them.
Pay attention to the white lady. I'm about to play this same back where Whoopi Goldberg stopped her from revealing the name. And LaToya laughs it off, but Whoopi shakes her head like, you know, playing it off too, but like, nah, like, too many eyes and ears, and then we on live TV. But check this older white lady face out.
I'm really intrigued because you say that there was somebody at this house and you know who it was. Can you say who it was?
No, I cannot say because there were other
Why
people
can't
in the
you
house
say?
as well. Because I prefer not to at the moment, but I will say this. I would love to have a one-on-one with several people. One person I would love to have.
Safe?
I would love to have a one-on-one with probably.
I mean,
You say that because you think that you
Look at her face. Look, she was just smiling. She was just smiling. Look.
Probably.
I mean,
You say that because you think that you could instinctively.
She like, bitch. She like, bitch, she probably was just about to tell us for real. And she'd be one of them people that go back and tell the conspirators and put LaToya's life in danger, acting like she a friend just trying to get a story. See, man, this industry evil, man. You gotta be careful for these frenemies. But now we about to hear how Michael Jackson basically was going to war with the CEO of Sony because he had acquired a large stake of the company and wanted to leave. So the CEO started doing petty stuff like pushing Michael's album back, which ultimately persuaded Michael to leave. And of course, they didn't want to let Michael out there, out of his contract. And in return, they wanted Michael's publishing. So things really got sticky.
2002, the King of Pop stood before a crowd in Harlem.
Tony Tommy Mottola. Tommy Mottola is the president of the record division.
He
He's
sounds like a
mean,
mafia
he's a
member,
racist,
Tommy
and
Mottola.
he's very, very, very devilish.
In 2016, a pop
Devilish.
star begged the judge for her freedom.
Devilish.
This woman in
In 1993, one of music's most powerful voices
Mariah
was silenced
Carey.
behind closed doors. And in 1994, a superstar chose career suicide over corporate slavery.
What is it going to mean for the record industry?
Different artists, different battles, same corporation. There's a building in New York City. From the outside, it looks like any other corporate tower. Glass,
buildings.
steel, concrete. But inside these walls, decisions are made that shape what the entire world listens to. Sony Music Entertainment, the second largest music company on earth, parent company to Columbia Records, the oldest label in America. RCA Records, where Elvis became a legend. Epic Records, where Michael Jackson made history. And many other smaller labels and companies. Combined, they control the careers of thousands of artists, generate billions in revenue, and define the soundtrack of our lives. But power like that, it don't come without a price. And that price, it always seems to come at the expense of the artist. It starts
Crazy,
the
bro.
same way every time.
Crazy.
A young artist with a gift, a contract that promises the world, success beyond imagination. And then, along the way, something changes. The artist
Same
gets
exact
bigger,
cycle.
becomes a household name. They want creative control over their own music. They don't just question the numbers, they dare to say no. And that's when Sony shows its true face. What I'm about to show you is not conspiracy theory or speculation or anything like that. It's documented, court records, testimonies, evidence that's been buried under settlements and NDAs for decades. In this video, we expose how one corporation weaponized the dreams of artists, writers, and producers. How contracts literally became cages and how they turned desire for success into a trap. How Sony Music Entertainment built an empire on the backs of the very people who made them billions. From Michael Jackson's final stand to Kesha's courtroom drama, Sony has been at the center of artists' legal battles for decades. This is a story Sony doesn't want you to know. The story of their victims. All right, let's start with the King of Pop himself. Now, everybody knows Michael Jackson, but what y'all might not know is how Sony basically sabotaged the greatest entertainer of all time. You see, MJ and Sony had a beautiful relationship at first. Michael released his hits under Epic Records, which was bought by Sony in 1988. I mean, we're talking some of the greatest and highest selling records of all time. Sony was eating good off Mike. But then something
Eating
changed.
good,
and
bro.
that something
Eating
was
good.
called Sony ATV Music Publishing. So let me break it down. So in 1985, MJ bought the Beatles catalog for $47 million, which gave him ownership of the publishing company called ATV Music. It was a smart business move. And then in 1995, he merged it with Sony's publishing to create Sony ATV. This allowed Mike to own half of one of the most valuable music catalogs in the world. He didn't just have ownership in the Beatles songs, he had a piece of multiple major artists' music.
People don't really understand is that when people say, yo, Michael owned the Beatles catalog. No, Michael owned Sony ATV, half of it.
I heard.
So when Tommy was trying to sign me when I was 18, Michael was trying to sign me because he owned half of Sony ATV.
Everything was cool.
Crazy.
That's when Sony switched up. The main issue started in the early 2000s.
Crazy.
By 2001, Mike dropped Invincible, but he was waiting for his contract with Sony to expire so he could manage everything himself. He wanted out and he tried to work things out with the president of Sony, Tommy Mottola. But in retaliation, the label started pulling back on pushing the album.
So I'm leaving Sony a free agent. I own half of Sony's publishing and I'm leaving them. They're very angry at me because of it, but I just did good business, you know? The way they get revenge is to try and destroy my album. But good art never dies. And Tommy Mottola is a devil.
Now this is Michael Jackson we're talking about, the man who made Thriller, and Sony barely pushed the album. Michael also realized that the lawyer he was working with was also working with Sony, and the label was pressuring him to buy parts of his royalties. But Mike knew what was up. They wanted his catalog. They wanted him to default on the loan so they could swoop in and take half of Sony ATV. So what did Mike do? Oh, he was ready to blow shit up. In 2002, he pulled up to Al Sharpton's headquarters in Harlem and let it all out. He called Tommy Mottola, the head of Sony, a racist and a devil in public in front of everybody, multiple times. But he didn't stop there. This man got on a double-decker bus with a bunch of fans and circled Sony's headquarters. He held up a poster with Mottola's face with devil horns on it. You see, Sony spent $30 million making Invincible, but only $25 million promoting it. And just for comparison, they spent about $50 million promoting Celine Dion's album that same year. No hate to Celine Dion, but she ain't Michael Jackson. The result? Invincible only sold 6 million copies. For Michael Jackson, that's a flop.
It would have been so much bigger back then if him and Tommy weren't beefing. So if Michael would have had his fair shake, because, you know, they went on not to promote. Like, Michael had a vision. Like, I was part of it. I remember him saying, we're going to come out with this first, and we're going to shoot a short film, The Threat, and we're going to shoot a short film. Yeah, you know, with Unbreakable, and I'm going to have Biggie, because I had the Biggie verse, and I'm going to have Biggie in the video in a hologram type form. He had all his vision. So when I look at that, I'm like, yo, he didn't get a chance to promote because whatever business wasn't right at that time.
That's why.
And so after Michael tragically passed away, guess what Sony did? They ended up buying Michael's estate's share of the catalog. So, in the end, they got exactly what they wanted.
Well, that was just that, man. The beef, the whole war between Michael Jackson and Sony, the reasons believed while he was unalive, some of the people who was involved. Let me know what you think about this situation down in the comments. Do you believe that Sony was responsible for it? Or do you believe nobody was responsible for Michael's death? Let me know down in the comments. I want to hear what you think. We just reached 100 subscribers. Thanks to you all. So, the question is, what is my most second viewed video on the page, on the channel? 3 answers, 3 people, 3 prizes. First place, $100. The Tay Wizzle Reactions giveaway. This is our first giveaway. Hopefully, I could cash app it to you or PayPal. Then we're going to verify that everybody that the winners have received their prizes. But you have to be a subscriber. And if you made it this far in the video, hit the like button. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and the bell notification so you can be notified when I upload a new video. Or you can be updated when I update you on the old one. I finally got a schedule figured out. So, because of you guys have been showing me so much love, I done dedicated myself to pushing out 3 videos a day. And you might get a bonus video. Sometimes I might give you a bonus video. Updates do count as the 3 videos a day because I'm not a machine. But those 3 times a day I will be releasing videos is 7 in the morning, 7 a.m., 1 p.m., and 5 p.m. All bonus videos will be released at 7 p.m. You can also catch me live on Twitch every day at 5 p.m. Don't forget to go tap into the website, The Urban Experience, at www.thaturbanexperience.com, where we offer a wide range of products. Don't forget to sign up for our mailing list, which is absolutely free, where you can get a 10% off discount code immediately. All discount codes, including Twitch subscribers and YouTube subscriber codes, can be used in combination with the welcome codes. So you'll end up getting almost 50% off. And don't forget to check out the items that we offer for absolutely free. This been another episode of Tay Wilson Reactions. Man, I love y'all. I'm going to see y'all in the next video. And thank you for watching. And thank y'all for subscribing.